To another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Your Life as Miyamoto Musashi by Serious History. Yeah. Always been interested, heard about this guy before, obviously. Who hasn't? Let's react.
It's medieval Japan, and you're born in 1584 in a small village named Miyamoto. Being born in Miyamoto and all, your mom obviously gives you the name Benosuke. Wait, what? You don't know who...
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Your Life as Miyamoto Musashi by Serious History. Now, I've heard about Miyamoto Musashi before, obviously, who hasn't? I've never seen this guy's video, Serious History. 700,000 subscribers, 3.2 million views. Crazy. Alright, let's see.
It's medieval Japan, and you're born in 1584 in a small village named Miyamoto. Being born in Miyamoto and all, your mom obviously gives you the name Benosuke. Wait, what? You don't know who your dad is, and unfortunately you won't know your mom either, because she passes away during childbirth. Luckily, she had remarried a guy named Shinmen Munisai, and he's gonna be your dad. Muni is like the perfect blend of supremely skilled swordsman and supremely abusive stepfather. You don't really like him, and you get into a ton of fights with him until he kicks you out of the house when you're 6. You go to live with your uncle, who's pretty chill because he's a Buddhist. So you live with your uncle for a few years, and you're 12 now. And one day you're walking around the town and you see a poster that catches your eye. It's an open challenge for a sword duel from a guy named Arima Kihei. He's looking to test his skill against anyone who's brave enough to face him. You grab a long stick, find him, and tell him you're down to duel, and he accepts. The duel begins, and Arima draws his blade. You circle him with your stick, and he charges at you. You swing your stick with all your might, and you knock his sword to the ground. He looks at you with a mixture of confusion and fear in his eyes, and on instinct, you quickly strike his head, and he collapses to the ground. You just won your first duel! Hooray! Oh, wait, he's still alive.
He actually killed him? Wow.
Alright, that'll do it. Now you just won your first duel. Hooray! Dueling is pretty fun, but your uncle didn't really like you fighting and wants you to avoid violence and seek enlightenment. Your uncle is cool, so you listen to him. Until this guy named Tadashima Akiyama challenges you to a duel when you're 15, and you go and kill him too. You decide that your life is probably not going to be the one your uncle wished for you, and so you change your name to Miyamoto Musashi and leave his home to go on a quest to become a great warrior. Puberty is hitting you hard now, and you shoot up to 6 feet tall, about a foot taller than everyone else around you. You're bigger and stronger than almost everyone you know, and just in time too, as it seems the 100-year warring states period called the Sengoku Jidai is just about wrapping up. Everyone is choosing sides for the final battle between Tokugawa Ieyasu and Ishida Mitsunari, who is subbing in for Toyotomi Hideyori because he's still a kid. You and your stepdad Munisai, who you're kinda cool with now, side with the eventual winner Tokugawa, and you fight in some minor battles for him, but completely miss the main event, which was the Battle of Sekigahara.
He's just cool with his stepdad again?
Fight in some minor battles for him, but completely miss the main event, which was the Battle of Sekigahara. Hundreds of years later, some guy who's writing a book about you will think, this is too boring, so he'll say that you fought in that big battle for the losing Ronin. And this will then make people living 100 years later get upset when a stickman with glasses on YouTube says that you didn't fight in Sekigahara. So upset that they'll have to write a comment to tell that stickman he's wrong. So you manage to survive the end of the Sengoku Jidai, but you still want to fight people. So you begin wandering the country again looking for opponents. As you're wandering, you remember that your stepdad Munisai had kind of become famous by beating the headmaster of a legendary fencing school in Kyoto. So you decide to travel there and challenge them as well. You're 20 now and arrive in Kyoto in 1604. You find the school, which was run by the Yoshioka family, and you challenge the headmaster to a duel. The head of the school is this guy Yoshioka Sejuro, and he remembers your stepdad beating their headmaster and wants revenge. He agrees to a duel with wooden swords and gives you the time and place to meet. He seems pretty angry for some reason, and this makes you think, you know what would be funny if he gets even angrier? So when the time of your duel comes, you don't show up on time. You make him wait for hours. And when you do finally get there, you look at his face and he's fuming. As soon as he sees you, he charges at you, blinded by rage caused by your disrespect. You quickly ready your wooden sword, and as he approaches, you strike his shoulder, breaking it. Hooray! Another duel won! his students carry him away, and after he recovers, he quits swordsmanship and becomes a monk. You're feeling pretty good now, having proven that you're just as good as your stepdad, and you're ready to leave Kyoto. But the Yoshioka family feels shame and dishonor, and they want revenge. Seijuro's brother, a man named Denshichiro, challenges you to a duel, which you accept. You show up to the duel and body Denshichiro with one strike to the head. Whoops, a little too hard, and now he's dead. The Yoshioka school is now falling apart because you just took out 2 of their best swordsmen. The only guy they got left is a 12-year-old boy named Mateshichiro, who they named their headmaster. The school sends you another challenge. They want you to duel this 12-year-old boy. You remember that you killed a guy at 12, so maybe they're serious. But at the same time, something doesn't feel right. So this time, instead of showing up late, you show up early and hide behind a tree. Your gut instincts were right, and the Yoshioka show up with a mob of students armed with bows, swords, and spears. This wasn't a duel. This was an ambush. You wait until they all get into place to wait to ambush you. And then you jump out and slice the 12-year-old boy in half before anyone can do anything. Nice! But it's kind of awkward for a second. Then the rest of the school starts charging you. You fight them off and make it out of the city alive. You just destroyed one of the most prestigious fencing schools in Japan. Hey, you're kind of famous now. After leaving Kyoto, you hear there's a Buddhist monk who's a master at fighting with a spear somewhere nearby. You want to see how well you can do fighting against someone like that. So you travel to Nara and you find him, but the guy's like 81 years old, so he makes you fight one of his disciples, a guy named Okuzondoi instead. Unlike the Yoshioka, who were angry all the time for some reason, these Buddhist monks are cool. You win a friendly duel, but nobody dies, and everybody's pretty chill after. You leave Nara and wander around a bit more, and you somehow reconnect with your stepdad Munisai. You're both adults now, and he sees you're pretty good at fighting. He thinks maybe he misjudged you when you were a kid, and trains you in the weird fighting style he had developed using his sword and jite at the same time. You take this teaching and apply it to your own two-sword style of fighting that you've been trying to figure out. You're 23 now, and you wander into the Mie Prefecture, and you get challenged to a duel by a guy named Shishido. He's a samurai too, but his preferred weapon is a kusarigama, which is a sickle with a heavy chain attached to it.
What's the point of that?
Seems interesting, so you agree to fight. The duel begins, and Shishido is attacking you from long range with his chain. You realize he's trying to wrap it around your sword so he can disarm you. If he does that, he'll charge in and cut you up with the sickle, so you watch for a pattern in his movement. Your ultra instincts kick in, and you see his attack pattern. When he launches his chain at you again, you rush in and slice his chest, killing him instantly. Another win! You're pretty good at
just killing guys like gets
But all this winning is making you more and more famous, and that makes stronger and stronger opponents start to seek you out to make a name for themselves. The first guy who comes for you is a man named Muso Konosuke. He's an arrogant warrior who, like you, has been on a quest dueling the strongest people he can find. He's exceptionally skilled at fighting with a bow staff. He attacks you without warning, and you block his strike with the new technique you named the Juji Dome, and you disarm him. He freaks out and runs away to a Shinto monastery to figure out what he did wrong. Thinking about how you were able to beat him, he develops a new style of fighting using a shorter staff called a jo. He finds you again, and this time the match is a lot tougher. Too close to call, maybe. You say it ends in a draw, but Muso tells everyone he won, and he trademarks his style of fighting as Shinto Musu Ryu. His main marketing for his school is that he beat you in a duel, and just off of this, his school lasts for centuries. Crazy. Next, you fight two guys at once in Edo and beat them. This makes you even more famous, and you finally draw the attention of the greatest swordsman in the country, a man named Sasaki Kojiro. You're sent an invitation to duel Sasaki Kojiro on an island named Funajima on April 13th, 1612. Sasaki is a huge man who uses a long sword called an odachi. He's probably the biggest guy you've ever gone up against, and he's said to be the best swordsman in the land. You realize that this is probably going to be the toughest opponent you've ever faced. It's very likely that one of you will not leave the island alive. You need to take this seriously, and so you come up with a plan to stack the deck in your favor as much as possible. On the day of the duel, you wait until the sun is high in the sky, then start heading towards the island. You get on a boat and tell the oarsman to take his time getting you there. You grab one of his spare oars and begin carving it into the shape of a sword. As the sun is beginning to set, you finally tell the oarsman to bring you to shore, and you spot Kojiro. Boy, does he look upset. You get off the boat and he rushes to you on the shore. He's fuming and spit is flying out of his mouth as he talks. He then takes a look at the boat oar you've been carving. He seems even more mad now, and he unsheaths his sword and throws the sheath to the ground. I guess he's ready to fight. You smile and say, "You've already lost." A samurai who throws away his scabbard has no intention of leaving alive. He charges at you with his signature swallow cut, and he slices the headband off your head. Yikes! Close call. You jump back and position yourself with the setting sun to your back. You see him squinting, trying to track you against the blinding light. As he struggles to see you, you see your opening and lunge towards him and hit him square on the head with your boat oar sword. He falls to the ground, dead. Uh-oh,
no
his students look pretty pissed. Better get out of there right away. Someone should probably change the name of this island now, by the way, because that fight is probably one people are going to want to remember.
That's insane.
Much better.
They changed the name?
Everyone finds out you beat Sasaki Kojiro, and you're famous now.
Cool.
The best in all the land, people say. And so you decide to parlay that fame into your own fencing school. Turns out running a school sucks, so you shut it down. And then for the next 20 years, you find work doing random jobs for various lords. You're a construction supervisor for a bit, then you go fight for the shogun to quell some rebellions. You also adopt some kids. One commits seppuku, and that makes you pretty sad. You fight in a couple more duels along the way, but by now nobody wants to use real swords anymore. You've earned your GOAT status. Your kill count caps out at 61 kills in duels. Time flies when you're doing all kinds of random things, and suddenly you're 48 and now living in Kumamoto. You finally find your true passion. Turns out it wasn't fighting at all. It was painting and poetry. But you still gotta do some work putting down another rebellion for the lord you're working for when you're 53. Someone throws a rock at you which knocks you off your horse. That sucks. So you go back to writing and painting again. You write a martial arts and military strategy document called the Hyoho Sanjugo. You try to pass on as much of your accumulated knowledge of over 40 years of fighting for future generations of warriors. What's this weird feeling in your hands?
Accomplishment?
Oh god, now it's burning everywhere. Surprise, you got neuralgia, and the pain is debilitating. You move from the life of luxury serving a lord into a cave called Regondo, and you live alone. You begin to write your final masterpiece, the Gorin no Sho, or the Book of Five Rings. This is your final master brain dump. Everything you've learned about becoming the greatest swordsman in history committed to paper. In this work, you explain your philosophies on martial arts training, on the fundamentals of your now famous two-sword style, the psychology of battle, your diss tracks on other martial arts styles, and finally your thoughts on Zen and consciousness. If you know the way broadly, you will see it in all things you write. And famous podcasters will get tattoos of you on their arms and quote this line over and over again to millions of people. You finish the Book of Five Rings and give it and the rest of your worldly possessions to your most loyal disciple. You're 61, and now you have lung cancer. On June 13th, 1645, sensing your time is near, you take a final bath. Maybe the only bath you ever took in your adult life, actually, and dress in your finest clothes. You tighten your belt and insert your wakizashi. You seat your frail body on the ground, pull one knee to your chest, and stare out of the cave. In one hand, you hold your katana, and in your other, your cane, and you peacefully pass away sitting this way, quietly observing the beauty and order of the world.
That's crazy. He's just thinking he passed away. That was a really good video. Good video. Good to know more about his life. I'm gonna check that book out. I've always heard about it, never really seen it, but now I'm definitely going to. Alright, thank you all guys for watching. See you.